It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga.
And today we're going to preview WrestleMania 41. And to start, when we started the Wrestling Caucus about 5 years ago, we had a conversation about the length of WrestleMania and how it's spread over 2 days. So 5 years later, how do you feel about that? Do you think it's too much?
Well, if there was two 6-hour shows, yeah. Each night goes like 2 to 3 hours.
Last year was like three and a half, four each night.
Hmm. I would prefer if it's two nights, I would prefer just two 2-hour shows. Excuse me. I mean, last year's WrestleMania didn't feel long because it was a really good show. But at the same time, if you ask my preference, yeah, I would do two Raws, two Raws. I don't even think Raw should be that long. I'm kind of glad Raw on Netflix is shorter than 3 hours. It's not always 3 hours. Like, I'm glad. SmackDown shouldn't be 3 hours. We talked about this, but it's just like two 2-hour shows or two Raw length shows are fine. Like, I know they're gonna do the two 3-hour shows, but I don't know. As long
I
as the whole show is good, then I'm fine. I don't know.
Right now, Raw weekly is like 2.5 hours. SmackDown 3 hours, unacceptable. That needs to stop. But WrestleMania is once a year. I've warmed up to the idea of two nights because if you have two nights and you're able to fill both nights with interesting matches and they're all built up properly, I'm okay with it. I just think that SummerSlam being two nights this year, okay, that's also fine because that's one of their biggest shows. But once you start thinking about Rumble two nights, Survivor Series two nights, Backlash two nights, then it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, sooner or later,
That's
Raw's gonna be two nights. Imagine that.
no, no.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the ticket prices for these shows are already through the roof. So you're gonna start you're pricing out people now, but you're gonna further price out people, but having multiple two-night shows. But if WrestleMania stays two nights and you have a solid three and a half, maybe 4 hours each night, to me that's okay because it's the biggest show of the year. Fine. But you don't want to turn, I don't think a wrestling card should mimic like a festival lineup. You know, I think it should just be
Yeah.
tight and concise. But again, once a year, two nights, I'm okay with it.
And it's like with WrestleMania, when you buy a WrestleMania ticket, are you paying for both nights for one ticket? Or you have to pay individually for each night?
Most people they do both, but they do have like combo tickets. Like you buy one, like two for the price of one, type of thing. But there's very little. Most people are going both nights, but there are some people that may just go Saturday and some may go Sunday, but it's very rare. Well, we'll see this year how that turns out. But if this these days, if you're going to WrestleMania, you're going to both nights. I think it makes sense, especially if you're flying out, you're flying to another city. It just makes sense to go to both nights.
Yeah, like honestly. Uh the triple threat, Roman, Seth, and the Pepsi guy, that's gonna be night one, right?
That's the main event for night one. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's like the most interesting feud going on right now. And it
Is
was
that the
all
match you're
based
most
out of
excited to see on night one?
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, honestly, I think so. I
Why?
wish it was just I wish it was just Punk and Roman because Seth and Punk had their saga already to me, and it was awesome. Like a freaking two awesome matches and a great cage match. I'm good. They only had two matches, Seth and Punk, right?
Yes.
I would have preferred this just be Punk and Roman, and Seth gets his final lick with Punk at SummerSlam or something. But then again, I also want Punk to wrestle Gunther if he, I don't know. Then again, I don't know. But yeah, no, well, the reason why to answer your question without trailing off, the reason why I'm excited for this triple threat is just like, it's just, it's everything I love about wrestling. It's just simplicity is freaking key. It's key. It's just like you have obviously Seth hates Roman. He hates Punk. He hates, you know what the thing is, Seth? He hates Roman so much, but he also loves him. And he makes his he makes his hate sound like love. He's like, see, Roman, this is why I keep having to screw you. I'm like, you're insane. You're mad. And Roman hates Seth. He thinks Seth is a pest. And it's interesting with Punk is like this unspoken thing where it's like he's like a jealous son. He literally attacked CM Punk. He wasn't even provoked. He literally attacked CM Punk just because he saw Paul Heyman hugging him after he got killed in a cage match. He was just hugging him, and Roman was like, "All right, okay, hey, how you doing, buddy?" And then he kills CM Punk. Like it's some jealous son shit, but it's not corny. It's just it's so interesting. It's believable. It's like they're all brothers, and in a way, they kind of are because Punk started the Shield. This goes back forever. So like I don't know, like this is hard to criticize. It's really it's like it's so interesting. It's so captivating to see all three of them on screen together. It's amazing.
I also am very excited about this match for night one because at first, a triple threat match closing the show with no real title implications, I can have reservations for that. But I do like the story of Paul Heyman. The idea of Paul Heyman kind of you're made to feel like who is he aligned with, right? Is he aligned with Roman with the bloodline? Is he aligned with Punk because of his damn near 20-year history with the guy? Is he going to align himself with Seth? Who knows? I think that's fascinating because I'm curious to see where this is going to go because obviously Punk should want a major title, right? So maybe whatever is going to happen with this match is going to lead to that. If you ask me, I would have made the stipulation here: winner gets to fight Cody and or Gunther or Jey Uso or John Cena rather. So we'll see where this goes. I feel like this is kind of a. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, like it's going to be probably a slow build because that's kind of how WWE has been moving the last 2 years. Most things have been kind of a slow play, but I just hope the payoff is worth it. And also, the fact that this match is closing is not out of the realm of possibility because look who's involved, right? Punk, superstar, Roman, superstar, Seth, superstar in his own right as well. Not as big as the last two, but still a star, still a main eventer. So I have no problem. This is kind of like Hogan and Rock, 20 years, 25 years rather, almost 25 years. But the spectacle match, the big star, it's kind of like that. So yeah, I'm very curious to see where this is all gonna go. Um, let's talk about the triple threat specifically, right? So do you think that? I mean, I think it makes sense that it closed the show, but do you think that this non-title triple threat match should close the show?
Yes. Yeah. Because originally I thought the favor that Punk had asked for was to be in the main event in some way or have a match with Roman. And I'm getting both of those things. And that's not even the favor. The favor was to have Paul Heyman by his side. Because I remember back in 2013, was it, when Punk was a heel, I think, or I remember Heyman telling him, when you main event Mania, I'm going to be there. I think that was 2013 or 2014. Don't quote me on that. But this goes back a long way. I'm okay with that. And I love Jay and Gunther. I think Jay Uso and Gunther, at first I was like, but like after that promo that Jay cut on Gunther, the last time they met, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm ready for that. But I don't know. In a perfect world, I keep talking with other people about this. I think we talked about this too. I think Jey Uso should have won the Elimination Chamber. Punk should have won the Royal Rumble because that is a easy and that is a very logical way to get him into the main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania. If the goal is to have Punk in the main event, he should have won the Rumble or the Chamber. He didn't win either of those things. I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you like talking about it now? Do you still think Jey Uso winning the Rumble was the right choice?
We'll talk about that a little later, but when okay, you have two nights and you have a lot of people that are kind of at the main event caliber that aren't necessarily champions, having a main event that's not a title, it does make sense. Because traditionally, I know Triple A, like WrestleMania 18, Hogan Rock. The main event, quote unquote, was Chris Jericho and Triple H for the undisputed title. Triple H has always been gun ho. The story is that Triple H has always been like the title match closes the show. Chris Jericho thought Hogan Rock should go on last because how do you follow that? How do you follow? It's impossible. And then it happened. I just watched it recently. How do you follow that? There's no way. And I remember watching Triple H and Jericho that match. The crowd was not as excited as they were for Rock and Hogan. So you can make the argument that maybe that should have closed the show, because that's kind of
Yeah.
where the show peaked.
Hey, you remember when it was one of the Cena and Rock matches where it was the one where they were wrestling for the title? When there was the second one, the Cena and Rock one where they wrestled for the title in the main event. That was a good match. Hell, I like that match better than the first one. I did, but you remember what the real main event of that fucking show was? Undertaker and CM Punk. That was not only it was such an important match, it was such a much better feud. Let's be honest, it was much more simple, a way better feud. It was in honor of what the hell? Jesus. Paul Bearer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an honor of him. I feel bad I forgot. I was about to say Paul Ellering. Jesus Christ. But Jesus, they're gonna kill me for that. That was the freaking main event of the show. That was the main event. Like everyone was like, "Holy crap!" There was a part where they thought Punk was gonna beat him, but he didn't beat him. But and then after that, Rock and Cena was good, but they weren't as excited. Correct me if I'm wrong. They weren't as excited as they were to see Punk and Undertaker that night. And that Punk and Undertaker wasn't a title match. That should have been the main event of the show. So I think now they're like, even though this isn't a title match, they're gonna rectify that by put. I'm pretty sure. Can you think of any matches on night one that could top that one?
No, but I will say this, right? So like at that time in 2013, the streak was just as important as any title,
Yeah.
right? But the person that watches WWE year in year out knows that okay, Punk Undertaker, come on. And maybe a little bit of the casuals will understand the Undertaker streak, right? Because a year later when it ended, everyone was talking about it. Literally, people who didn't watch wrestling every day was talking about the fact that the streak was over. But in 2013, Rock versus John Cena, people who don't watch wrestling every day understand like that's huge because The Rock was like, forget about wrestling. He at that point, The Rock transcended wrestling. He was in the Fast and the Furious movies that year, and John Cena was the most famous wrestler, famous active wrestler at that time. That wasn't really The Undertaker. So you can make an argument for both. Honestly,
Yeah.
you
That's a
literally
special
could make it.
case. You're right.
Yeah, you could make an argument for both. But like The Rock wrestling in 2013, he was not gonna not go last. He
Yeah.
was
No,
not
of
gonna.
course not. No, of
Yeah.
course not. That
But you
between
could
me and that,
honestly
you
make an
won't.
argument for both. But I just think that the main event for a show, for a wrestling show, especially WrestleMania, traditionally maybe it should be for a title. And this year, night two, Cena and Cody, that's for a title. That's going to close the show. One, because it's for the title, but two, because Cody is huge and Cena is huge.
Yeah.
So if you're a superstar, you can close the show with or without a title, you know?
See, we were talking about how like, oh, what if Paul Heyman aligns himself with Seth, and we have like a thing like like Vince and Austin turning heel and aligning himself with Vince in the main event of WrestleMania, like kind of something like that. People theorize that Seth is going to become a Paul Heyman guy that night. And if that happens, Cody has to beat John Cena. Because imagine 2 nights in a row where it's an unhappy ending. One of these nights
Yeah,
has to be kind of a happy ending, right? Right? I don't
yeah.
know.
But I just think largely like wrestler the ultimate goal, like Cody spent 2 years trying to be champion and beating Roman. So I do think that largely there's going to be some anomalies, but I think the show should be booked to have the title be the thing to chase and to be the main event. To me, generally speaking, the most important match of the card, each card should be for a belt. That's
Yeah.
my opinion. Yeah.
And I think that's probably the benefit in this special case. That's where a 2 night WrestleMania could benefit
Right.
because
Yeah.
the first night will be a non-title main event. Second night, you know that Cody's title is gonna close that show. And this is why I always say Punk and Cody was not only the best choice they should have went with because of just their segments, but it's easy. You have the most popular guy that isn't the champion versus the most popular guy who, thank God, is the champion. That was just like butter and toast. Like what the hell? But it's fine. They're doing what they can now, and hell, Punk is main eventing one night and Cody is main eventing the other night. This is
Right.
great. And you know they're gonna wrestle at one point. They have to. They have to.
Because, from like a promoter standpoint, a business standpoint, WWE has like a lot of leverage in the sense that we have so many stars that we can't put all the stars in one basket, right? So you have one star here that's going to sell tickets this night, then you have other stars here that's going to sell tickets for that night. Let's talk about the Rumble winner matches because when we talked about the Rumble, right? And I said that Jay winning, I don't see it as a match for Gunther because I already saw it and I was like, I don't really want to see this again right now. And I said, yeah, Charlotte and Tiffany, that's the match. Boy, was I wrong.
Ooh, boy.
Boy, was I wrong.
Jesus Christ.
The
Gee,
way, correct me, tell me if I'm wrong. The way that Gunther and Jay has been built up compared to Tiffany and Charlotte, it's not even in the same stratosphere of main event potential. Like one match is being told to us like this is very important. The other is this is soap opera bullshit from 1999.
See, here's the thing. I was talking to Dad about. I'll get to Charlotte because I was talking with Dad about Charlotte. Here's the thing. You want to know why Jey Uso and Gunther bloomed, even though people didn't have hope, even though people didn't have too much hope in that match? You want to know why that bloomed? You know what they both have that Charlotte doesn't have? Personality. Jay went through seasons like he was like, "Oh yeah, Gunther, I'm ready to beat you, man. I just won the Royal Rumble." But then Gunther shook his confidence. Not only did and then right when Jay's confidence was at his lowest peak, and Jay was at like, "Bro, I don't know if I can beat him." His brother, his brother lifted him back up. Was like, "You know what, bro? You know what? I got you. I got you." He slapped the crap out of Gunther, Jimmy, like a true brother. He got his ass kicked the next week. He got annihilated, and that was the spark that lit under Jay. And Jay's like, okay, okay, I had to tell my mom that I couldn't protect my brother. You think I'm afraid of you, homie? And Gunther was just like, oh fuck, what did I do? Shit. Um, Charlotte and I was holding reservations to say this. I don't know. I feel like I was talking shit about her personality every episode we talk about her, but I felt like I was holding in my reservations. Now I can say yeah, her winning the Royal Rumble was not a good choice at all. At all. At all. At all. Like, this years ago, right? When Charlotte and Paige were feuding on Raw, someone had the brilliant idea because Charlotte didn't have much of a personality back then. Paige was kind of carrying in terms of personality, at least back then. So someone had the bright idea. Let's talk about Charlotte's dead brother. Let's bring in real world stuff. Let's
Vince.
force
It's
Vince. Yeah,
Vince.
it was Vince. Yeah, Vince. And It was horrible. Now, although the shit with Charlotte and Tiffy is not as bad as that, it's a similar thing where, okay, one person here has personality, the other one doesn't. How do we make this interesting? Oh, let's talk about her freaking divorce. I don't give what? It'd be a great counter. You know, it'd be a great counter. Oh, let's talk about my DMs. I don't give a fuck about your DMs. Fuck your DMs. I don't like, like honestly, like this story is, and I feel bad for Tiffany, but like I don't know. This is dumb. This is just dumb.
I think it comes down. It's a lot of things, right? The Usos, they got what 15 years of experience. Gunther probably has similar, wrestling all over the world, wrestling with Kent, being in the ring with the likes of Kenta Kobashi. He has education that we can't even fathom yet. Like he has a whole lot of knowledge. He knows what to do when. Same with the Usos. They've been around the block before, right? Tiffany Stratton doesn't have the same experience. Charlotte has more experience than Tiffany, but still,
What does she do with it?
she's got a decade of experience, but like she's been here. She only been here. She only knows the system, right? Well, see, the Usos have been in WWE, most of the, pretty much all of their career, but I don't know. They just cut from a different cloth, I guess. I also think some responsibility has to be on the people putting the match together.
Absolutely. Who the
I
hell approved this?
I think because I apparently Charlotte and Tiffany, they went off the rails. They had something planned and they both just went off the rail. Again,
Oh, because that
inexperience.
always goes well in wrestling. That always, it's not like that. It's not like shit like that tanked an entire tanked the credibility of their competition, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like I think that Charlotte's return match should have been a bigger deal, but it's not. And it's not to say that these two ladies are not going to tear down the house at WrestleMania. They probably will. But the fact is, how we get there, we all know wrestling is all about how we get there. The story. What's the story here? It should have been so simple. Tiffany is the rising star. Charlotte it could be the jealous, bitter veteran. Easy. Layup.
Here's the thing. Now I don't have faith that they're gonna work well together. Now I don't have faith. After the way they were acting, I'm like, are they gonna work well together? Are
How
they gonna
could you
try?
have faith? You're right. You're right.
Exactly. Like, oh, are they? Listen, they're gonna flip their. They're either gonna flip their little hearts out. You know, they're gonna flip off They're gonna flip off shit, or they're just gonna sandbag each other or some shit. Like I have. Here's the thing. Charlotte and Rhea's feud wasn't that interesting either, but their match was great because clearly they worked well together. Is Charlotte gonna want to work with Tiffany? Is Tiffany gonna want to work well with Charlotte? You know what I'm saying? I don't have faith in that anymore.
Yeah, like I was telling you, if something is not handled backstage, they're either gonna open the show and go like 10 minutes, or they're just gonna be in the middle of the show in a spot where people are gonna forget about it, unfortunately. I don't know. I hope for the best, but right now it's not looking good. They're doing crap from the past, and this doesn't seem like main event at all. Because you look at the other matches on the show, how they're built, compare it to this. It doesn't have it's I can't even say it's like indie level because I don't want to disrespect independent promotions like that because they probably got storylines. I'm sure they probably got storylines that are way more interesting, than this. I don't know.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I guess I say all this to say clearly the more important match is Jey Uso and Gunther for the world title. It's clearly
Yo,
the more important match.
Bailey and Leah Valkyra fighting for the tag titles is more important than this feud.
Yeah, we'll talk about how the women are presenting. So
Oh, and by the way, you know
yeah,
who should have won instead of Charlotte? You could have had Roxanne Perez, another new person going up against Tiffany, who's a new champion. Two new young people. Because a lot of the other important matches here, you got Cody and Cena, younger guy, current guy versus a legend. You have Punk, Roman, and Seth. You have guys who are like seasoned veterans. Tiffy And Roxanne Perez or someone young like her, probably Roxanne Perez, could have been that could have been the title match that where it's like two new people. Hey, watch out for these two. But no, let's bring back Charlotte and humiliate Tiffy, or better yet, let them humiliate each other and make the
Yeah.
company look bad.
Honestly, like NXT has got more of a buzz now than it has in years.
Yeah,
Why not have uh an NXT girl win the whole Rumble? Why not have Julia or Stephanie Valkyr uh win the whole thing?
you had Julia right there. You had Julia right there.
Yeah, look
Oh,
what they did with
whatever.
Kevin Owens 10 years ago. He showed up on the main roster and beat John Cena.
And he made a wave. He made an impact. Everyone, people who didn't know who Kevin Owens was then were like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yep. And damn near 10 years later, he wrestled Steve Austin in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yo, Sami Zayn blew out the same year Kevin Owens debuted and like beat Cena. Sami Zayn blew out his shoulder against his match with John Cena during that U.S. title series and made more of an impact in what's going on with the women's world title with the women's. Is it the women's title that Tiffany's holding?
It
Or the
doesn't
women's
matter.
world? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see, it's like Jesus Christ. Ugh.
No, I think it's the what is it? Oh, it's the women's championship.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. EO has the world women's championship.
Oh, that feud. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So let's talk about the women and how they're being booked because I think we've come a long way in how the women are presented, but we still have a ways to go because coming off of the first Evolution, I still think about that show every day. If we're gonna have another one, we can't have what we had with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte, and we can have what this triple threat World Women's Championship matches with Io, Rhea, and Bianca. All these women are talented, but the way they're being presented, I'm sorry, this is stupid. I don't know what lame former SNL writer is putting together these storylines, but they suck. The women's storylines suck. Straight up. They're terrible.
This is like Teen Nick shit. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's okay. I agree with EO slapping Rhea and Bianca for both of them disrespecting her. The problem is next week they did the exact same fucking thing. The week after that they did the exact same fucking thing. How many times are you going to pie face your champion? You're making her look like a dork. She slapped both of them. Okay, next time she dropkick both of them. Forget a slap and a dropkick. EO should have beat the hell out of both of them right there. Right there. That's how you
Instead
make
of instead of Adam Pearce having a contract signing and Rhea Ripley stealing it, she's inserting herself in a place she doesn't belong, but she's a beloved babyface. Here's how you make this thing simple, right? Bianca wins the chamber, earns the right to face the champion. She goes to EO and say, "Well, in Puerto Rico, a couple of years ago, you almost got the better of me, but it's not going to happen in WrestleMania because I'm the EST of WWE.
Wow, that
Easy,
sounds like wrestling. Holy
easy."
shit. Whoa.
And Rhea can come in and say, "Wait. I still have her." She can go to Adam Pearce and say, "I still haven't gotten a rematch." And then Adam Pearce can make a triple threat at WrestleMania. You
What
can
the
make Rhea earn it or something. Okay, how about this? You beat so and so, and you be inserted into the match. It doesn't have to be complicated.
I don't understand. It's like they're making them it's like the only way these people know how to present their women is by making them catty and immature. It's very Wednesday
Thank
night.
you.
It's very Wednesday night because I see this shit on Wednesday night all the time. They make the women look like children. Here, it's better production value, but it's
Yeah, outside of like Tony Storm, Mariah May, um, yeah, a lot of the women's stories have the same problems in AEW as well.
it's either too
Somebody's
campy. I'm
yeah.
sorry, you were saying I cut
No,
you off.
yeah, you're right. It's catty, a lot of cattiness. Women's wrestling booking in America still, both companies still like there's anomalies, but there's a lot of just cattiness. Why are you presenting these women like that? You know, like Tiffany's talking about Charlotte's divorce, like and Charlotte's saying, "Well, your husband's in my DMs." Like, really? We're
Which
doing
is
this to the
Cap,
women
by the
now?
way. Which is Cap.
Yeah, but it's not.
Kaiser.
It's again, like, it's nonsense. It's soap opera, like it's reality show nonsense. Like, it makes no sense. Let's not present these women athletes as that. You know, I
Yo,
got nothing against that stuff, but like, let's not do this here.
yo, for all we know, Kaiser could have been in her DMs just telling her, "Oh, hey, yeah, great match the other night. Like, say hi, like, say hi, say hi to your dad, whatever. I don't know. Like, it could have been that. Like, why has it got to be like sexual? Why has it got to be like what? Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, we got to do
What?
better for the women. We got to do better.
What's wrong with fighting for the fucking title?
And keeping it simple.
What's wrong with fighting for the goddamn title? Tiffany should have been like, "Yo, listen, I know you just came back. Congratulations. But I'm the champion now. And you're not gonna fucking steamroll me like everyone thinks you're gonna. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
what the
All right,
Ugh.
let's talk about Cody and John Cena. Do you think this is part of a long-term angle that's gonna have its first chapter end at WrestleMania and kind of carry on throughout the rest of the year? Or do you think this is kind of like one and done?
Uh I don't know. I kind of want it to be one and done because I don't hate heel Cena. I think it could be a little more serious though. Like, here's the thing. This guy shocked the world. He literally, not only did he lose his smile, he took his smile and threw it on the floor and pissed on it. The whole idea was that The Rock wanted to, Cody's soul. Cody was like, fuck you. And Cena sold his soul instead. Cool. I was expecting a soulless John Cena, a soulless corporate Cena. Instead, he came out in his attire, in his usual fun, you know, fruity pebble attire, and he whined to the fans like, "Oh, you guys did this." So I'm like, this is not what I want. I've seen John Cena be very serious before as a babyface. This is not what I expect from him as a heel. I don't know. So I kind of because of that, I kind of want it to be a one and done. Um, But the thing is, if Cena wins and is champion, it can't be. I guess it's not. Obviously, it's gonna run longer. Which I don't know. If there was more of an edge to Cena being a heel, more of a change, I would be very excited to see Cena as a heel champion for at least a year.
I think the first like 2 weeks of this, I thought it was like WWE of old. It's because of the fans. But then they started to pick things up. And I thought Cena telling Cody, like as of right now, the story is very simple. Like Cena's basically saying like Cody's not going to be, you'll never be me. You know, you'll never. Yeah, I like it. I like that. Like Cena's saying like basically the story is Cena transcends wrestling. Cody is just a wrestler. But then Cody's also saying, well, if you're saying that you're better than me, but the fans have never told me that I can't wrestle, you know, which has got to irk John Cena a lot,
Yeah, and
you
I
know,
love that John Cena said, "I made I made billions for people. You just took money from a billionaire," which is I thought was very
which is
clever.
a great line. And and
That is a
and
great fucking line.
Cena's whole idea is like he wants to like almost destroy professional wrestling, which is interesting because he's in
I hated
Hollywood
that
now.
line.
I know, I like it. I like it
Because like, what
because
does that mean? You're gonna have a bad match on purpose?
no, 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 no.
Okay,
I
I
don't
don't
I
know.
think it's he because his whole idea is like he's gonna take the title and go to Hollywood and leave. Which is
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
what Cena and Punk was all about too. Like Punk was like, "I'm leaving. I'm taking the title
yeah.
and I'm leaving."
And he
But
did.
that was more like a Brett and Austin thing because they wanted CM Punk was like supposed to be the heel in that, but then the crowd was like, "This guy's awesome.
Yeah,
What? He's gonna
exactly.
take the title and leave? Whoa!"
Yeah,
But
like
with Cena, it's like he's getting crazy heat, you know, with this. But they just gotta get rid of like because the idea is like um when Cena was getting booed, it was like a small section of the audience. So like blaming the fans is kind of irrelevant, you know,
Like
because people were
I
still
don't know.
paying to see him when they were booing him out of the building.
Yeah, they were wearing his shirts while he was like cutting a heel. Like, bro, like I would have liked it. Like, I don't know. I wish he was more soulless. I wish he was more serious. Because
I
the idea
think,
is,
yeah, I do agree with you, but I just think that this may be part of a longer story because Cena's going to be here the whole year.
yeah, like I don't know. It's like imagine if like instead of like they asked him like, "Hey, Cena, why did you do what you did?" And he was just like looking just deadpan at the camera or whatever, being like, "Because my boss told me to." And that's the only answer he gives. Remember when after he betrayed Cody, he went to the press conference, took the mic and threw it on the floor and walked out. Like I love that. I like that.
Which is why it tells me they're not giving us everything. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's almost like they're showing that they're giving us little by little things that may happen. Because again, the last 2 years of WWE at least, most things have been a slow burn. They're not just gonna because Triple H famously 20 years ago when he was wrestling Batista, Vince wanted to get do that months prior. Triple H was like, "Hold on, you know, we got to milk this." And I think they're gonna milk this Cena heel thing, and I'm a little confused about The Rock's involvement with this.
Look, The
I don't
Rock
know
shows
what
up
he's
when
gonna do.
he shows up when he wants to. He
Yeah, that's
shows
a
up
yeah
when he
that
pisses off when he's working on a movie and he pisses off the cast. That's when he comes to show. That's when he comes back.
that's where I'm a little what's gonna happen here because that's one part of the story that's kind of like that needs to be filled, but maybe they'll in due time kind of reveal some of that. But I don't know. Who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah, I don't know. Like on paper, this feud is like awesome on paper, but it's just I don't know. I guess I wanted a little more. I wanted more of a change from Cena. Like I'm not saying he had to
Yeah.
come out in a suit or anything like that, but like I don't know, some sort of like change. Like we're not going back to what it was before because that's what the heel turn felt like. And then he came out dressed like he was before. I'm like, okay, so what the fuck is happening? I don't know.
See, I would like corporate Cena.
Yeah.
I would like that. I think that would be cool. Because we
Uh,
look at The Rock, I guess like
like, what if, like, if he wants to come out in his Jordan shirt, okay, fine. What if he came out and there was no logo on his shirt or his hat? He gave him nothing. He's like, he tells him, I give you nothing.
or just a shirt with the WWE logo on it or the TKO logo on it. That's it. I'd love that.
Oh my God, that would be great. But like the thing is, it would have what would sell is that his face is soulless, it's motionless.
Yeah.
He's not like he came, I don't know, to me he came off too whiny. I don't know, that's just me though.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. That's fair. All right. It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga.
We'll be back next Monday to recap the two night WrestleMania 41. Later days.